Hello, it's been a while. And as in been a while, it depends on how you follow me. Because honestly, the last time I communicated was on the community for my YouTube page. Otherwise, last time could have been the last time I wrote on Twitter, Instagram, or my Facebook page, which those barely exist. Everything, I exist on my Discord server, which there's a video on. Please watch that all the way before joining. Please read all the rules before joining. I just want to get that disclaimer out there before I move on. But yeah, so I'm going to try my best to not turn this into another DarkAbridgerEX Spoodcast and just try to give an update on everything that's been going on in the past 5 months as both, you know, my IRL, gamer, and the DarkAbridgerEX stuff. So I'm going to start with, we'll start with the DarkAbridgerEX stuff. We'll start like laying down what progress I've tried to make in the past 5 months. So, Silent Hill 3 Spood was the plan for the first Spood that I wanted to do in my goal of getting every sequel for every game out. So I wanted to get Silent Hill 3 Spood done, and then I was thinking about doing the Devil May Cry anime Spood done after that, and then I think it was going to be Resident Evil 0. That's the goal. There's been other games that are on the bucket list now, because of their state of no one fucking knows what they are, and I would like to get them on the radar in some form. 2 of these games I was actually playing during my struggling 5 months through school in my downtime. One of them being Resonance of Fate, which had the 4K version out on PlayStation 4, PC, and wherever else that I don't play some time ago, and I see that it's got Spood-friendly options like turning off voices and background music, and I felt like I want to do something with that, so there's that. Another game that I was playing, trying to get my Platinum Trophy on, and then realizing, you know what, we'll make a Spood out of this one too. I did a Spood skit on both Resonance of Fate, and this other one, and now I'm thinking of doing Time and Eternity. So, yeah, those are on the bucket list just for the sake of I want to get them out there, and I love these games. So, that's a good enough passion project on that front. I have noticed that I did finally hit 5,000 subscribers, and I want to say thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for helping me get to 5,000. It's a pretty big number. I didn't make any community post on it because what I was going to say about that would give people expectations and hopes for something, and I didn't want that while I was already stuck in this limbo of school, which I'll get more into later. But now that I'm making this update video, I will say that this 5,000 is not going to go unnoticed without something big happening. I just need some people, they know who they are. This could be 1 person or 2 people, who knows? But I'm just going to leave it with they know who they are to, get everything together and, open up the slot for us to do what we're going to do about that 5,000. And I'm sure you guys are going to love it when it finally happens. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be something. So yeah, look forward to that whenever that gets out. So that's the general line of things, and of course my solo Spood is going to be the School Days of Our Lives, the School Days Spood. If I ever get around to that, I would love to, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. Allow me to explain the IRL situation now of what's been going on and why it feels like a lot of progress is being slowed down. Also, I want to briefly mention, now that I remembered, notice how I didn't really mention GM18. GM18 is still stuck in limbo until certain people eventually turn in lines. At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if I just said GM18 is cancelled, because sometimes my motivation for this series, when shit just doesn't come my way, just kills my motivation with it, and I really want to prove them wrong and get 1 season out, but damn is it getting hard when some people just don't have the motivation to turn in lines. So yeah, there's that. That's enough of that, and I don't want to talk about GM18 as much as I can. So yeah. So now we're going to talk about real life. Jesus Christ, that sounded like I'm still on the DarkAbridgerEX Spoodcast, but I promise I won't make this long. So real life, for those of you who don't know, or who never watched the DarkAbridgerEX Spoodcast, I got gifted a game called Custom Order Made 3D2. It's a Night of Magic, which has a lot of customizations, and through a bunch of mods and all that stuff, I've been using it to finally create my OCs. Like, my goal, my future after DarkAbridgerEX is to, of course, be a voice actor. Good luck to me on that front. And I want to be a fictional story writer. Stories that I've actually written was called 7 Days, 8 Nights, which was a Groundhog Day story. I wrote that back in 2012, and it was on a website at one point, but then I decided this year, after motivation from a certain white bowl of rice who is proven to be a very motivation-rising and helpful friend of mine, got me back to rewriting the story with the 9 years it's been since then to improve the story by a lot. Give it a lot more life, give it a lot more characterization, a lot more, stuff that I could share and not feel embarrassed about or ashamed about to a degree. So a good chunk of my January was spent doing that. I looked at my old story, kind of almost wrote it bit by bit, but severely changed up shit that was just weird or too anime-ish, stuff like that. And so a good chunk of January was spent doing that. And I started trying to lose my weight, my COVID weight. I managed to lose 10 pounds so far, but losing the other 10 that I need to lose has been difficult. So on top of that, my semester started around near the end of January, and it ended on the 14th of May as of the time of this recording. And I was taking 3 classes. I was taking creative writing, surprise, surprise, which has helped develop my skills as a creative writer. Anyways, so I was taking a creative writing class. I took a psychology and literature class, which had a bunch of reading, but a lot of movies. So that was really nice when I got to watch a movie. But I would also spend 8 hours on an Audible reading a book of horror, psychological horror. So that was fun. And then there was history class, which had so much reading. And the less I talk about that history class, the better. But basically, that's been my 5 months. And it's kind of had me in this limbo state where, my motivation to do any other work, creating art for my OC is low brain work to me. And, it's about easy as when I used to draw my box art stick figures. And honestly, it was related because I was working on my creative writing, working on my OC characters for that class. Ta-da. 2 birds, 1 bull. And then, of course, there was playing games, because that was the closest I got to downtime, especially in my reading-heavy classes and writing, of course, for creative writing. So I'm juggling all of that. And I have this little DarkAbridgerEX me screaming at the back of my head to just try to get some progress done. And that's been rough because part of me has a school conscience, which makes me feel guilty if I don't get my work done before the Pipers do. So it was a little rough trying to make progress on DarkAbridgerEX, still trying to maintain my workout and lose weight. And, of course, take care of some, gaming and all that stuff. And tried to squeeze in DarkAbridgerEX felt like something that I didn't deserve to do until shit was out of the way. And by the time shit was out of the way, it was just brain fart time. I can't juggle that shit. But it felt wrong. It still felt wrong. It felt wrong that I wasn't making progress on DarkAbridgerEX, and it felt wrong that if I had to ignore my schoolwork, because these classes cost $3,000 for 3 classes. I think it was $3,500, and I'm not doing financial aid because unless I'm lucky enough to get a grant, I'm shit out of luck. And I'm not doing loans because the last thing I'm ever gonna do is loans. This is a lot rougher than it was because, before in my community college, it was 10 times less. It was $300, $500. That was no problem. Of course, I have unemployment COVID money, and I had, my late grandmother years ago gave me funds for college, and I've been pretty much going off by that to get by this semester, the next summer semester that is starting next Monday. That's gonna be great. Taking 2 classes that I really don't want to spend a full semester with, so I'm gonna spend 1 long-ass summer with instead. 1 month, and I'm assuming it's every day, instead of a Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday kind of class. It's gonna be great. My goal is to try to at least get this one commercial skit that I'm working on as we speak out, and hopefully get Silent Hill 3 Spood's script written and sent out, so people at least have work to do while I probably drag my face across the floor doing my 1 month of summer work. But now here comes the kick in the dick part. Now on top of that, with vaccines coming out, the unemployment benefits is going to slow down, and they're going to crack down on people. They crack down on frauds, but now they're just making sure that people actually, get a job and get to work and not just live off in home. I got my vaccine shot just recently, so my fear of getting COVID and getting out there and killing my parents, who are definitely asymptomatic people, is out the window. And now it's just a matter of you need to go get a job. And I'm honestly not going to do that right now with my 1 month of summer classes, because there's no way. If my workload from these past 5 months were anything to go by, and now I had to do 1 month of summer with it, there's no way I'm going to do that and still try to juggle a reasonable work schedule, which I would probably assign myself to do it, do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday schedule. That's usually been my typical work availability. I don't know if they would give me those exact hours, but that would be the gist of it. Or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Who knows? Point is that now it's time for me to pay the piper in a month. But that's kind of also why, while I don't feel like I deserve to be asking this, and my lack of progress being made, I was hoping to do one last pitch for the Patreon to try to, get me going. I can't do YouTube's, partnership because of my material and the amount of copyrights I get for some of the tracks I use, or the fact that the Der Kommissar theme got me blocked off 3 countries or whatever. All stuff like that just makes it hard to do partnership with them. And I'm not kid-friendly either, so there's that. So literally, it's just Patreon's all I got. And as it stands right now, I can't get by paying $3,000 plus classes for another I don't know how many semesters, hopefully before I become 30, and groceries that I now buy at my current rate. If I'm able to make my Patreon goal, the initial goal, I could probably still get by and not have to worry too much about expenses. The ultimate goal would probably be solid, but I've said, I haven't really made progress to even earn just a bunch of $1 tiers, which is all I could really ask for at this point. It's just $1 from a bunch of people. Yeah, I've had most of my supporters have been the $10 tier to join the broadcast and all that stuff, and that's been fun and great and all that stuff, and I really do appreciate these people, especially the people who go above and beyond. But it's been a struggle, and the fact that sometimes I haven't been able to just do the job I don't feel like I deserve to ask, but I would definitely appreciate it if you're able to now. If you are financially and willing and able to, would love your support on the Patreon, even if it's just $1. This COVID life was pretty much the sample of what that would be like, and that sample got us Silent Hill 2, it got us the Devil May Cry 1 spood, it got us the Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 spood. It took longer than what I anticipated for it to get done, but it got us that, and I'm hoping to keep continuing that streak, but I know that streak is not going to happen if I'm back working 3 days a week and still juggling college, especially with how college has upped its game, and I need to be healthy and not turning into a blob of potential heart attack disaster. So that's it. That's my pitch. That's the update and the pitch. Once again, I am once again asking your support on Patreon. I really don't want to do the whole thing, because like I said, I didn't really want to do this for money, but as I've witnessed, no progress is going to be made on this DarkAbridgerEX channel if I have these things in the way. I want to at least, hopefully, if this school thing just gets done, I want to at least get a lot of this done before I leave, and thus not feel like I didn't finish my job as a DarkAbridgerEX and get my bucket list done. But life is life. I think I can do it, but it just would help. So that's it. That's the update video of future stuff we got going on for DarkAbridgerEX, some of the stuff that's been going on in my life, and why I would definitely love it if I'm able to get some support for Patreon to keep going at the rate that I did last year. Last year was great. I want to keep doing more of that. The school kind of surprised me though, so I'm a little unsure. Thank you guys for listening to my TED Talk as always. Do what you gotta do. Maybe I'll see you on the broadcast, or the server, or whatever. I don't know how to say goodbyes, as always, so I'm probably just gonna interrupt myself mid